It is Bruins Benders postgame live on the Inside the Rink YouTube channel with Matty and Smitty. Click subscribe. Get your Bruins Benders merch on InsideTheRink.com/Bruins-Benders. Follow us on the social media at Bruins Benders. The Bruins get a 3-0 shutout victory over the Minnesota Wild tonight after Joe Sacco said earlier today the Bruins are treating every game like a playoff hockey from now on. From now on. Like right now.
That's a lot of games, but they need to. I mean, honestly, they need to have some urgency. It's a good thing. Maybe they'll show some urgency. But look, they didn't come out tonight like there was any sense of urgency, did they?
Boy, oh boy.
It's what they do. It's called Bruins. The first 7 or 8 minutes of the first period, they're going to get hemmed in their own end. The goaltender is going to have to come up with a couple of spectacular saves, and they're not going to have any shots. And you can take that one to the bank. You could pay your mortgage with betting on that thing because it happens all the fucking time. Sorry, John.
Yeah, they went out shot 6-0, and it turned into 11-6 Bruins all of a sudden because they decided to play.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was after the first 8 minutes of the first, the Bruins dominated the remainder of the first period.
They did.
And we're very good in the second period, minus that one, 3-minute shift that they were hemmed in there. Right. But other than that, really good. And then the third, played pretty well in the third as well. So, I thought they had legs tonight. I thought they battled. I thought they competed. I thought along the wall, they won more pucks than not. And I think a lot of times that is the difference in the game especially against good teams. And like Minnesota's a pretty physical team. They're a good team, best road team in the NHL. Mm-hmm. But the Bruins are one of the better home teams in the league as 18-8-3, I think now at home. So, they play pretty well at TD Garden. They're hot garbage on the road, but
they are.
They're pretty good at home. So, I mean, they're probably going to squeak into the playoffs, so they're not exactly going to be having home ice advantage.
No. So, and look, I don't look, they still have a lot of work to do to get to the playoffs. And, they need to beat, they really need to win these next 2 games. And if they can go in with a 4-game win streak and in a pretty good position, heading into that Four Nations break, then maybe they have a fighting chance. But I'm telling you, as Matthew Curtis says in the comments, Sacco treating these games like playoffs, and Don Sweeney wants to wait and see. Fucking assholes still think they can or should be buyers, completely ignorant and delusional as to what this team is. They're gonna milk this until the end. I mean, they are not going to do something that's going to jeopardize them missing the playoffs unless they are out of it. So they had to lose 5 or 6 in a row here for anything like that to happen. If they're in it by the skin of their teeth, and they will continue to try to stay in it. And that's just what it is. And it's not great for the organization probably, but that's what you're looking at.
It is. It is what you're looking at. And look, they should be able to, like, people can multitask. Like, you can do 2 things at once. I'm sure Don Sweeney can walk and chew gum. Maybe he can't, but I feel like he should be able to. So you should be able to make smart hockey trades to help yourself for the future without sacrificing too much from now. You should be able to do that. You should still be able to trade Trent Frederick or Justin Brazeau or whomever it is and still stay competitive. You should be able to do that. So the whole, like, we're not going to trade anybody because we're in it thing, I don't believe that for a second. I don't like it. I don't buy it. I don't subscribe to it. I think it's bullshit. And I think the management, if it was a creative management group, could do something like Washington did, where they spin guys and they still made the playoffs last year. Spun guys off and still made the playoffs. Like, it's possible. You can do it.
It is possible.
Not enough players at the top of their roster to be able to do it. So do that. Do that. I don't want to hold on to Trent Frederick and then watch him go to Washington, watch him go to St. Louis for nothing in the offseason. I don't want to see that. Trade the fucking guy for assets if you can trade him. If there's all this interest around the league in Trent Frederick, capitalize on it. Trade the guy.
Yeah.
Scored tonight. Trade him.
Yeah. Yeah. He's got 3 goals since December 10th. So,
yeah,
it's not like he's helping you a ton. So trade him. Trade him if there's interest around the league and that you may get a little bit of a bidding war for him, then go ahead and do it. Like I said last time, Coyle and Frederick, if you traded those 2 guys, it's not like they would hurt your team all that much. So you could trade those guys and still probably be in the playoff hunt till the end.
Yeah, you could. And look, Charlie Coyle tonight, I mean, it was a nice little tip play by Faber there at the side of the net to break the pass up. But I mean, Jesus Christ, Charlie.
Yeah.
3 swings at it with the cage wide open. And you can't even get a shot off. Like, it was deflected, but it wasn't like it was, deflected up into your shin pads. It was still along the ice. Like, adjust to the fucking puck, dude. Are you not watching the puck? What are you doing?
I'm not 100% sure. I really am not. I mean, he has not been great. I mean, tonight he had 1 shot on goal. He played 18-18 because he plays a ton of ice all the time. But that's about it. I mean, looks like here, is this right? He took 1 face-off and lost it. No hits. Just kind of a nothing burger again.
Yeah, I mean, look, he was skating and moving and whatever. Fine. Like, he was fine. Yeah. But like you said, like, that's replaceable. Fine is replaceable.
That's replaceable. Fine is replaceable.
And look,
and that's a great quote. Fine is replaceable.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Like Justin Brazeau is
they got
replaceable.
A lot of guys in the roster who are fine.
Yes.
And they're replaceable.
They're replaceable. Yeah. I mean,
Matt had 2 assists and played 13 minutes. Imagine if they actually let him play the game.
It's really starting to make me angry. Like, he made the 2 goals you scored were largely because he had the primary assists and made the play that you have. I mean, he's a playmaking center who made 2 plays that directly led to goals. The 2 goals you scored, other than the empty netter.
Yep.
Like, that was due to him.
Correct.
And you play him 13 minutes for the game, and every time he was out there, I mean, things were happening.
Sure.
So again, why is Coyle not playing 13 and Pastrnak not playing 18? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
I don't understand it. Like,
it was if you're
watching with your own fucking eyeballs, then you should be able to see that Matt Poitras is making some things happen out there when other centers on your team, like the one that you spent $8 million a year on, like those guys aren't doing that at all year long. And is Poitras flawed? Of course he is. There's games where he stinks like everybody else does.
Yeah.
But for God's sakes, at least has a fighting chance when he's out there to create some offense.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, that was a roundabout way of me pointing that out, but yeah, that was my point. Like, he's playing 13 minutes and Coyle's playing 18. Like, I don't understand it. And they executed a 3-on-2, but why did they? Because they had a guy who could actually pass the puck.
Who had some vision and pass the puck cross
ice. Yeah, cross ice, saucer pass, lands flat. Freddie rips one home. Like, they don't have guys on the team that can do that.
No.
For the most part, there's maybe a handful, if that, and he's one of them. But he still doesn't get enough opportunity, in my opinion, for a team that is struggling to score goals and looking for offense. He should be on the ice more. He should
He should be on the ice a lot more, and especially at this point in the season where, again, the other guys aren't doing it night in and night out. So it's not like a couple of years ago where you really didn't have any place for a guy like him. Well, this year you do. Like, this year you need his offense. And when he's out there with Pasta, there's something there. I don't understand how that doesn't, if you're management, doesn't make you excited. that maybe your one fucking draft pick of a forward who has any offensive clue can actually do something with your top goal scorer. It's just, to me, I would be excited to continue to get them out there. Like I said last game, play them for the next 28 games or whatever it is. Play them every night together.
Yeah,
like,
I'm with
see
you.
what you got.
I think it will work out. Look, I thought Oliver Wahlstrom tonight was pretty good, other than the dumb penalties. But like, he was pretty good, and you know why? It was because Poitras was passing him the fucking puck. That's why. Yeah. There was a few chances he had on the doorstep. It's because Poitras gave him a primary assist, essentially. Like, that's why he was good.
Right.
Because Poitras was passing him the puck. So if he played with good players instead of Wahlstrom and Frederick, he probably would produce even more. Like you said, with Pastrnak, like, make that happen. I just don't understand. I don't get their development style.
I don't get it at all.
I don't get their plan. I don't know if they have one. I don't like it at all. I don't feel like they are doing anything positive with the young kids. Any of them. Poitras, Lowry. I mean, obviously Merkulov and Lysell are just forgotten about. You know, they're afterthoughts. They're like, oh yeah, somebody gets, Oliver Wahlstrom, gets banged up, or Cole Koepke gets banged up. We'll maybe bring one of those guys up. Yeah. If it's not, if it's the right matchup, because if it's the wrong matchup, we're going to bring up Max Jones or Patrick Brown. Fuck's sake.
I just, if I was the Bruins and I was desperate for any forward to give me any offense, then I'd be pretty excited about Poitras. And yeah, is he flawed? Sure. But so are all your other players, like every single one of them. So just get him out there and get him some experience. I don't understand. If someone could tell me what this development style is and if it's actually worked ever anywhere, I'd like to see it. I'd like to see an example of where this has worked, where you sit guys immediately when they make a mistake over and over again. When you play them 13 minutes, when they have 2 primary assists on the only 2 fucking goals you scored. Sorry, John. Like, come on. I don't understand. Play the guy more. Charlie Coyle, yeah, he's a veteran, and I guess he's earned a little bit of rope, but Jesus, I think he's out of rope. Like flip those 2 guys. Play Poitras on the top line with Pastrnak and Geeky. Put those 3 guys together. Put Zacha with, Marchand and Lindholm. And then you get Coyle and Frederick back together with, I don't know, give a rat's ass who. Brazo. I don't care. I don't care at all.
Nope.
And then a 4th line of whatever, who didn't ran. And then that's it. Like,
sure.
For fuck's sake. Like, come on.
Poitras has 24 points in 56 career games.
Yeah.
So, like a half a point a game. Yeah. That's good for a kid who's, barely 20 years old.
And barely plays.
Yeah. And plays 13 minutes.
Barely plays. He plays 13 minutes a game. If he played 18 minutes a game, maybe he's got 30 points in 56 games, 32 points.
Yeah. So, like, I'm saying, there's a very real chance he's your 50 to 60 point a game second line center. There's a very real chance of that if they give him the opportunity, if they give him an actual chance, if they give him actual second line minutes. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. I'm not sure they will.
I'm not sure they will. I really am not sure they will.
Okay,
here's my question.
Pavel Datsyuk, they don't want young players to play center.
Here's my question to you. Now that we're in second season with him, okay, when does he get what happens to where he now plays 18, 20 minutes a game? Like, what do you have to see for that to happen?
I mean, does he have to have an 11-game assist streak?
I
don't know. I legitimately don't know the answer. I don't, because in my mind, he's answered the questions already. He made the camp as a rookie because of his competitiveness, and then he produced some, and he got banged up and whatever. But that in and of itself was enough for me to give him an opportunity. And then he makes it again this year. And then they send him down, which, he wasn't great early in the season.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
No, I didn't mind it either. But at the same time, like, I feel like he's earned an opportunity to play through some of that. I mean, I know he's not as seasoned of a veteran as, Marchand is or anything like that, but I feel like he should have been given an opportunity to play through some of that and see if he can find his game. Like, everybody else was awful. Why is it the young kids, Charlie Coyle's still awful. Trent Frederick was awful until like last week. Why are those guys given a leash and he's not? Like, why does Trent Frederick move up and down the lineup? Is it because he's big? Like, because of his height? Like, I would argue that Matthew Poitras wins as many pucks along the wall as Trent Frederick does.
Yes, I would argue that. That until I was blue in the face.
I just don't understand it. I don't get it, and I never will.
I'll tell you why. Because those other guys make more money. Because Charlie Coyle makes 5 something, and you're not going to play him 13 minutes a game. Because then you look like a bozo. You're
probably right. Yeah. You're probably right. But at the same time, that's a shitty way to run an organization.
It is because you're not playing the best, you're not putting the players in the best situations to succeed.
Yeah.
Just because you're an asshole and gave $7.75 million for 4,000 years to Elias Lindholm, who's done nothing at all. And then Matthew Poitras, in a short sample size, has done far more offensively than Elias Lindholm has done all year long. But because he makes, $7 million more a year than Poitras, and you look like a complete knucklehead if he's not playing, and if he's playing 13 minutes a game, then you're basically admitting that was a shitty signing. So that's why. I mean, Elias Lindholm tonight played 18:46. He had 1 shot on net. That's about it. He lost 12 faceoffs, 40%. And then, Coyle plays 18-18, loses his only faceoff, 1 shot on net. I mean, who else? Who was the other center? Friggin' Beecher, 924. I mean, what are we doing with Johnny Beecher? If Justin Brazeau, 848. I mean,
I have a question for you about Beecher.
Okay.
Is he the worst offensive player that you've ever seen? Being serious.
He is close. Like, he is close. I mean, there's been some bad. Remember Kasper's Dogavans? He was a fucking horseshit offensive player. There were some real bad forwards that they've had offensively in the past, like literally puck dies on the stick, or if it even touches the puck. And Beecher's right there. I mean, tonight, Beecher makes a good move to get into the zone.
Yeah.
And he fires a pass that had no direction.
Nope.
It just landed
in behind both of the guys from his team.
And then it goes the other way, transition the other way.
Yep.
I mean, he has no idea. But this is the book on him.
Yeah, I know that. I know
this is juniors
because he still gets ice. I mean, he still
he still doesn't get scratched. He does not get scratched
because he penalty.
And they've got a million centers. They've got a million centers in the organization, and he doesn't get scratched at all. And then he goes out and plays 9 minutes. Like, you mean someone else couldn't play 11 minutes doing that very fucking thing he's doing? Like, I don't get it. He even plays wing. And it doesn't get scratched. And what are you going to put him on the wing for? I mean, he can't do anything on the wing. So
can't do anything at all. Anyway.
He's an RFA. And are you going to sign that guy again?
They better not.
I'm telling you right now, I bet they do.
I bet they do too.
I give him a 1 year, 1 million, whatever the fuck. And they do it they give it one more shot. Why? Because he's their draft pick. They have no other forward to speak of other than Poitras in the last 10 years. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to give him a 1 year, $1 million contract, a bridge, and they're going to try it one more time.
It'll probably happen before they sign.
And we're gonna slam our head
Oh my God.
off the microphone next year too. So that's you betcha. You wait. I'm telling you, they're gonna roll out 85% of this lineup again next year. I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna lose my mind. They're gonna sign Geeky. They're gonna sign Beecher. They're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna sign Brazeau. But Jesus, I trade him today because now you're burying him. Now he either gets scratched or plays 8 minutes. Like if he had a little bit of value last week, you should have traded him.
Yeah,
because now his value's gone. There was a report by Dave Pagnotta today that of the fourth period that said that they had some contract talks in December, and then since then it's been crickets. It's been nothing. So you were thinking about extending him in December and not considering this extending him at all now. So
because he was hot for
he was hot. So they were gonna sign him because he was hot for a month.
Yeah, of course they were.
Wow. Like, what are you doing? I just
they're so reactionary.
They don't have any idea. They don't have an idea at all. They don't. All right. Comments. Matthew Curtis. This management team season make me want to lobotomize myself.
Yeah.
True. C2 paint. Beecher is a fucking waste. Get rid.
Yes,
as we just spoke of. Yes. What an absolute killer empty netter from Geeks. Geeks on the board again. What does he got? 16?
15, I think.
15 now? Jeez, he's gonna score 25 goals. And then you're gonna go to you better he's got 15, doesn't he? At least.
I'm gonna double check. 16. You were right. 16.
He's gonna score 25 goals. I'll tell you what, if I'm Morgan Geeky, I'm waiting till I score 25. And then I'm going to market, big boy.
He should.
And then they're gonna lose him for nothing.
Yeah.
Quiet chat tonight, says Matthew Curtis. It was a little bit quiet early on. I'll tell you what, when they're winning, talk about crickets.
Yeah.
It's like no one knows what to say.
Yeah, nobody wants to come here and listen to me, talk normally.
Talk positively.
Talk positively.
No.
Nobody's here for the positivity.
No one's here for the pleasant, Smitty. Bruce Bridger, the good team showed up tonight. Sure did. Amazing shutout, says Dan Maynard. Sway was on fire. Keep this up, and he'll very officially earn his 825. I'll tell you that Swayman was excellent tonight.
He was
excellent. I mean, he was on his game, and it could be now that they're going to need him. They're going to have any sniff of the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
And he's been kind of showing this here and there, that he's gradually getting back. And, we've seen this story before. I mean, he can go on a run here.
Yeah. I mean, look,
he's going to play these next two. He's going to play tomorrow night.
He made some dynamite saves on Boldy early on to keep that game scoreless or 1-0 for the Bruins. He robbed Boldy a couple times early in that one.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Yeah. T-Boz says sell the farm.
Yes.
I'm with you. And I'll tell you, I would sign Geeky like 2 years, $3 million a year, or goodbye, trade him. And then I would sign Lowry. Other than that, all your UFAs and RFAs, see you later. Like I wouldn't sign any of them. And that's maybe even including Marchand if he really wants to leave, which I think he does. Because he made those comments like a week ago saying that, as long as I'm here kind of thing, which always means like you might not always be here.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they would have there's still people out there who think he's going to take this hometown discount. You're out of your mind. Because if he was going to do that, it would be done.
Correct.
It would be done. Like the team would accept that 4 months ago. They would have already accepted that if he was taking some hometown discount. So all you people who think he's going to take 2 years and then, $2 million and then some bonus money and all that, garbage. He's not doing it because it would have been done. So he is half a foot out the door.
He is. I mean, he talked about the contract negotiations earlier on where he said he doesn't negotiate through the media. And, because there was some there was some speculation about his contract and whether or not they were going to do an extension. And, he shot all that down. So like you said, if there was going to be some low money extension, he wouldn't be shooting things down, and the team certainly would be open to it, and it would be done already.
It would be done.
He wouldn't be shooting down things about contract negotiations if it was going to be some short-term low money deal with him earning incentives. Like it's not happening. Like you said,
I really think he may not be upset, but I think he's changed his mindset since all these other guys took market value.
Sure.
Like that whole discount thing went out the door when McAvoy signed that big deal. And then Pastrnak gets his big deal a second time around. So if I'm Marchand, I'm saying, well, Pastrnak got his big deal second time around. I'm not taking another discount.
Yeah.
I'm not. So I think that's where it all kind of starts. I don't think he's upset about it. I think, he probably understands the players, but now he's saying, look, if no one else is doing it, then I'm not doing it.
Right.
So there you have it. Like that hometown discount thing's out the window.
Yeah, and look, I don't blame Marchand at all. Not at all.
I don't at all.
He deserves his money. He's taken less throughout his career. He deserves his money. So go to Minnesota or somewhere and get an signing extension, get traded, sign an extension, cash in.
Yeah, he's still a $7 or $8 million player.
Yeah.
For what his point production is and effort and all of that, he's still a high value player.
Yeah, I mean, he just has to look at Elias Lindholm and say, "I'm better."
Jesus,
and he's getting 7.75. Yes. So where does that put me?
Yeah.
Where does that put me, Donald? Yeah. Where does that put me? Sweeney's
$7, $8, $9 million bucks a year.
To Elias Lindholm. Yeah. What am I worth?
Yeah,
that's probably. I mean, that's probably what he's doing. That's what I would be doing. I'd be like, you just gave that schmuck 7.75. That means I'm worth 9.5, buddy. Or 10.
Yep. So it's just not happening. And now reports today, I don't know, someone from the Athletics said something about Edmonton. I don't know. It's going to be Edmonton or Colorado or some team like that, Dallas, some team that really has a legit shot and can put him on the wing. That's what it's going to be. So, we'll see what happens and what you can get. And if there's 3 teams out there who would love him, then take the highest bidder and see you later. You know
what they're going to do though, right?
Tell me what they're going to do.
They're going to keep him the whole year and then he's going to walk for nothing.
He's going to walk. Yeah.
They're going to keep him the whole year, try to make the playoffs, maybe make it, maybe not. And then he'll leave for nothing.
So an iconic player that might go down as a top 10 player in Bruins history. He's going to walk at the end of the year because you tried to make the playoffs and then you miss.
Yep.
And then he walks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you're looking to retool at all, he's the guy you begin to retool with.
Absolutely.
You get whatever you can for him, which would be probably decent.
Yeah, I think so.
You get Frederick, you get a little bit of something, and you start that kind of retool. You do, and this is what's going to happen. They're going to hang in,
and
they're going to get gun shy. He's going to stay, and he's going to sign with Colorado next year in the offseason.
Probably. Yeah,
they got rid of Rantanen, and they have Natchez making less money. They're going to give some money to Marchand.
Yeah. They got a spot on the wing next to McKinnon.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Marchand, McKinnon, Natchez.
Yep.
Next year. Oh, God. C2 Paint, F the Wild. Great effort. Where has this been? Too little, too late. Could be. Absolutely could be. Still have games and, teams still have games in hand with you. And Detroit's on a roll. Ottawa's on a roll. Islanders are on a roll. So you need to win some games, as we've said. The no compete of Zadorov, Lindholm, Carlo, Freddie, etc. will disappoint, says T-Boz. Y2 Jones, that was a surprising game. Not a great matchup on paper. And it isn't, but losing Kaprizov is big for them.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, he's such a dynamic player. And, Hartman is a stiff, and he get 10 games. But Kaprizov is a big loss for them. And the Bruins again play well at home. They've beaten good teams at home.
Yeah.
And this is the formula. Like, just get in front of your net, limit the rebounds, limit the turnovers, and then just be opportunistic with your offense. And this is it right here. This is how they have to win and not get running around and like they did in the first few minutes of the game. What, 8, 9, 10 minutes without a shot.
9 minutes, yeah.
Game. 9 minutes. Yeah. Wallstrom in the mix, always on the wrong side of things. There was, Joe Haggerty was saying something about how he likes Wallstrom and everything. I'm going to tell you again what I told you before. Wallstrom is not going to cut it. Like, he's another team away from being out of the league. Like, it's just not in the cards for him. It just isn't. He has some ability, but he's taken 4 offensive zone penalties as a Bruin and has 2 points. That's not great math. It's not a great equation. He doesn't do much at all. He doesn't finish at all. Like, he was better as a 9-year-old than he is now.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's just not going to happen for him.
One of those peak too early guys.
Yeah, and he's not going to sign here. He's going to get some minor league deal in the offseason from somebody. But he's not going to do it. It's not going to happen for him. And people are saying, oh, he's got size and he looks like he did a couple nice things tonight, but he hit the post coming out of the box. It was a great pass by Marchand to spring him.
Mm-hmm.
Hit the post. It'd be much better off if he fucking made it. If he fucking put it in the net.
Sure.
That'd be great. That'd be nice. Because I could find some other guys, including John Beecher, who could hit the post. So I don't need that. Wild seemed deflated. Yeah, I mean, losing Kaprizov is a big loss. It really is. It'll be interesting to see how they respond to that. He's out a bit. Suspect 63, bring up Merkulov and Lysell, get rid of Wallstrom and Beecher. I'll tell you what, as long as they're in the playoff picture in any shape or form, not going to happen.
No.
Not going to happen.
Wild have been shut out in back-to-back games, by the way. They were shut out by the Senators in the last game, 6-0.
Huge loss for them.
Yeah.
Sweeney is in the corner of a dark room thanking the Lord for another chance at keeping his job, says T-Boz. It could be true. Could be true. We got some sips. Jonesy has the American Dream IPA, brought to you by Rock Bottom Brewery. Trivia tonight, conflicted with the game, says Adrian. Absolutely can't believe the Bruins won. Not at all surprised that the trivia team won. Nice job, Adrian. Sip tonight for T-Boz is E.H. Taylor Single Barrel. All E.H. Taylor is BIB, so 100 proof for the E.H. Taylor. Let's see. There was another sip in here somewhere too. Smirnoff vodka for Bruins 1970. Absolutely. Let me some Smirnoff vodka. I'm trying to just quickly get through see if there's so many other sips in here.
Yeah, got to get through those sips.
Yeah, I mean, you
finish up with the sips. Connor's going to chime in. He put a poll up on YouTube.
Oh, did he?
Okay. And he's got some statistics, some information for us.
Michigan Mike has an honor to Smitty. A sip tonight is Litchfield Maple Bourbon.
Attaboy. Get after it.
Right. Right for Mr. Smith himself.
Love it.
Let's see. Any other sip in here? It doesn't look like it. All right. So poll time.
So we put out 2 polls this evening. The first one, obviously, being the Matthew Poitras being the best center on the Bruins team. He got 72% yes from the YouTube viewers that he is the best center on the team. And in between that, you did bring up Joe Haggerty. So I had a little fun comment in there to you guys. Me and Joe Haggerty have 2 things in common, and I had no idea.
Okay.
Both of us enjoy Wallstrom very much, and neither of us go to the Bruins morning skate. So what do you know? And the second poll of the night, 66% of the viewers think that Don Sweeney should trade Brad Marchand.
Wow.
66%. I think people are understanding that retool in a desperate time means, trade one of your core guys, trade him. He kind of wants, he's open to leaving. I'm with you. It's hard. And I didn't think it would happen at the beginning of the year. I think it was no way in hell he would be traded ever. But now that it seems like he might be okay with it, then yeah, I think it's a way to get a little bit of retoolage.
Yeah, I think that's the quickest way to start that undertaking. I do.
Yeah.
Because he's the guy on your roster that you get the most for, that you're willing to trade.
Yeah. Rob Spector drinking some PBR like a goddamn man.
Yes.
Not a boy, Rob. Some PBR. I haven't had
My
PBR
favorite onion rings in the world
in a while.
Are beer battered, and it's PBR is the beer batter that they use.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Have you ever had the onion rings from the Yard House?
No.
They do an onion ring. They do a tower.
Yeah.
And they're beer battered, but they put Parmesan cheese on them. Holy shit. Yeah, they're fucking unbelievably good.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I'm willing to take a year or two off my life to eat those.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth it.
Yeah. I really would like to see them keep Poitras around and make him a Bruins veteran in the long run. Give him chemistry with Pasta and make a solid second line that could win us games, says Dan Maynard. I'm with you on that one. You guys were talking about keeping Poitras down for months. We were. And I think at the time, yes, I wanted to keep Poitras down, and I think it was the right move. And he even said that it was good for his game. But now that he's up and has shown that he reaped the benefits of that, now I'm saying now you keep him. Like now this is good. Like, so I kind of agreed on both ends. Like I agreed to send him down. I thought he should probably stay down till 4 Nations, but since he came up and said that he really benefited and seemed like a much more confident player, then now he's producing, then fine. Let's keep him up and let's play him.
He set the world on fire down there. So, they brought him up I think at the right time. I mean, I'm with you. I would have probably waited until 4 Nations, but they brought him up, and I still would like to see them give him more of an opportunity, but he's producing in what little minutes he does get. I think it's good for him in the long run to spend some time in the AHL. All their really good players have done it, So
yeah, they have.
It's just part of his development, part of what he needs to do. Like they play a lot of games in short periods of time in the AHL, so you got to rebound quick. You might be playing, tired or hurt or banged up, and it's just, it's all learning how to take care of yourself and be a pro and all that stuff. Like there's value in that I think he needed to learn, to help him at the NHL level.
Yeah. Liam Perkins says, "Hey boys, a guy we don't mention enough is Hampus Lindholm. Good player, but needs to go and use his cap for goal scoring forward." Here's the thing about Lindholm. I think he's a good player too, and he was one of your better players before he got hurt. But if you keep, if you sign Lowry, which you will, then you have Hampus Lindholm, Mason Lowry, and Nikita Zadorov on your left side for like the next 5 years. So that's your left side of your D.
That's good.
Right there. That's right. Yeah, right there. Like it's set. It's right there. And it's, other than Zadorov is not great contract, but Hampus kind of is, and it's going to get better. So
Zadorov contract, as much as we hate it now, that's going to get
it'll
better.
Be better later too. Right.
Yeah.
And Lowry won't make a ton of money in this first deal. So you're looking at the left side being right there and solid. Now it's the right side that, probably needs some tweaks. I don't know how much further you'll go with Peak. You have Carlo who come up in a couple years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's making short money too right now. So
he is. Yeah.
And look, tonight I thought might have been Brandon Carlo's best game in like a month. Yeah, I thought he was good tonight.
Yeah. PK, he was really good.
I thought he was good. I thought he was more decisive in general and strong in the stick, played pretty physically in his own end. And, like you said, on the PK, he can be a monster back there because of his reach and his skating ability when he's on. And tonight I thought was a step in the right direction for sure for him.
I thought so. Usually and historically, when you see that, he starts to put good games together. When you see him bad, he puts bad games together. He's a real streaky player.
Yeah.
So hopefully this is a sign that he's turning it back to being solid, being a good player, and getting that confidence back, because typically that's what happens. Y2 Jones, best case is Marchand is dealt to a contender and wins it, then comes back on a 1-year deal to finish his career. That's interesting, isn't it?
I was actually thinking about that if they traded him somewhere else, for the stretch run, if he would consider coming back the following year.
Yeah.
They get some pieces to retool with, and then he comes back as well, with the cap going up. I don't know. It's an interesting thought.
It is. Dan Maiden's sipping on a Sprite because he's at work, so that's okay.
Well, I mean, throw a little vodka in there, Danny. No one's
sure. No one's gonna notice. It's almost scentless, right?
Sure.
Beth Patember says, if they trade Marchie, what do we get in return? Well, I heard. Didn't I hear what was the return that we heard? Good prospect,
first and a third.
First and a third. Was
a good
kind of the projection.
First and a third.
Right. But if you're talking about a good team, that first is low first, unless you spread it out. But that's a low first round pick. That's bottom of the first.
Yeah. Bottom of the first, bottom of the third, and a good prospect.
Good prospect.
I mean, it's better than a second and a fourth.
So maybe for the episode Wednesday, we'll look at Colorado and Edmonton's good prospects and see what's out there.
That's a pretty good return.
Yeah, it is for a guy who's 37. Yeah, it is. It is. Now just hit on the picks, or use them to get a higher pick, or
package them and trade up or something. Who knows? Right. Maybe you can do that.
Right. But yeah, that's kind of what people are looking at. Wallstrom is tall. He's got a strong arm. He's tall. He's got a strong. He's tall, says Josie. Guys, why all the negativity? You are right, but the team looked good tonight. Yeah, they did. They did look good tonight. But you know what? We're kind of negative by nature.
Mm-hmm.
It's good for ratings. C2 paint,
so
to speak. And but yeah, I mean, this is the remedy. This is the recipe. This is how they have to play to beat good teams, as we've said before and we've seen before. It was a good effort, and I thought Smitty was right. Their puck battles, I thought they won a lot of pucks tonight, and they had urgency and purpose in the offensive zone.
I would agree with that 100%.
They played in the offensive zone much differently and with much more purpose than they have in recent games.
And I think that shows on the power play as well. Mm-hmm. They had at one point they had 4 guys below the goal line trying to get puck. Like puck retrieval and that kind of thing, just on dump-ins and on the power play, I think was much better. Like much more urgent, using their legs, getting bodies on people and winning pucks. And, it makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
Because if you win battles, you can possess the puck and you get shots. And they had, I believe they had their most shots in a game this season. If I'm not mistaken, I think 34 was their previous high this year.
Is that right? Okay. Yeah.
So I believe so.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest part of the game that I saw from them was just, McAvoy has a tip goal in front of the net. Like they just were much more aggressive.
Oh, they tied it. They had 34 shots.
They tied it. Okay. There's a debate going on in the chat room here.
Okay.
Marchand, some are saying Marchand is the same type of player that he's been, and some are saying he isn't the same as after surgery. I would probably lean toward he's not quite the same. I think he still plays at a higher level. I still think he plays extremely hard. I still think you see bursts from him, but I also think that his age is showing up. Look, he's had multiple surgeries. Just this offseason. Played a lot of hockey, and it's still remarkable at his size what he can still do without the same kind of legs he's had. Like, it's really remarkable what he's able to do. And I think there's still some tread on the tires, not a ton, but I could see him playing 3 years more max. I don't know if someone will give him 3. I mean, if I would give him 2 and then see what happens after that. But I think he gets a 2-year deal from somebody.
He should.
For sure. For sure.
He should.
Yeah.
He's got 42 points right now in 54 games.
Okay.
Last year he had 67 points in 82 games. The year before that he had 67 points in 73 games.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean
that's what I think. He can play. He can play 3 max.
Yeah, he's in that neighborhood. He's on pace this year for 64 points. So, it's right around where he's been at the last couple of years. But before those 2 67-point seasons, he had an 80-point season. I'm not sure you're going to be seeing, that really again, unless he plays with a Nathan McKinnon. Then you might.
Right.
You might see 30. You might see 30 goals and 90 points.
You might
playing with McKinnon.
You might. And that on that power play.
Yeah.
With Makar and McKinnon. Sure.
So, he can still be a really good player, but he's not what he was in his heyday. In his heyday, he was a top 3 winger in the league.
Yeah.
I mean,
and a lot of times he was behind Ovechkin as the second best left wing.
Yeah.
He really was. And now, he's probably top 10. And that's good. But there has to be some slippage, for Christ's sake. He's 37, has had multiple surgeries. And Y2 Jones says, you guys are only negative because you're suspicious of the front office, not the players. That's correct, Y2 Jones, because I've been a fan of this team for 45 years. And yeah, we're always a little suspicious, a little negative, because it's
years of experience.
It is. I mean, it's just, this is how it plays out. This is how it plays out. So Matthew Curtis agrees with us. It's good for ratings. So look, here's
another reason. And I'll let you keep going. They do things like this, and then they lose 7-2 to Buffalo, and then 7-2 to Winnipeg. That's why. It's like they can't keep this up. They can't sustain this. Like it's like it's nice to see.
Sure.
But are they going to really keep playing like this the rest of the year? No, they're not.
No. I mean, they're not going to win 28 straight, first of all.
So that's what I'm saying is like, I want to be optimistic about it all, but I don't think they can continue this. Like they'll just start to feel themselves, start to want to play up and down, start to want to, score with other teams, and then it all goes to shit again. There's still a minus 26 or whatever goal differential this year.
Yeah.
It's not close. So it's one of the worst in the league, as a matter of fact. So, as well as they're playing right now, and I'd like to see that continue, I just don't think they can sustain it.
No. And I'll tell you that, tomorrow night they play the Rangers. I mean, they could lose that game back to back in New York. Rangers, they just beat the Rangers. Rangers need to win. I could see them losing that one, and I could see them dropping the one to Vegas and losing the last 2, going into 4 nations and being out of a playoff spot. So if they want to win tomorrow night and then beat Vegas and go in on a high, then I'll be more optimistic about it. I'll be more positive about it. But right now, I mean, we've seen this before where they come up with a really great effort, and then they won 4 in a row. They were only 4-game win streak. They turned around and lost 8-1, 5-1. Like, I mean, we need to see a little bit more of that. And Beth is right. The special teams blow. Power play sucks, and the penalty kill struggles, even though it was better tonight. Dan Maynard says, in the 45 years, he's a newer fan. Curious to know, in your 45 years as a fan, where does this year generally rank as far as shit years go?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I'll tell you what, this year is more like kind of actually, I wouldn't even say, like, even in the mid-90s, they were winning President's trophies and they were winning 50 games. And,
I mean,
so this is
third for sure.
Yeah, mid-2000s. This is like, Joe Thornton, Jason Allison years, probably Jason Allison, Anson Carter, late 90s.
It's not real entertaining.
Team. Yeah.
not real entertaining. So I would say it's like it's bottom third. Like it's
yeah.
because
It's not terrible. They've been bad.
Yeah, I mean, but
it's not bad.
In the when we were watching in the late 70s, they had Rick Middleton and then and Ray Bork, showed up right
Coming
at the end
in,
of the 70s, and then
right.
So you had Bork and Neely and Middleton and Terry O'Reilly and
Brad Park and you had
Brad
some guys
Park.
who play.
So like there was some guys that you could root for, and back then it was entertaining because if they didn't win, they were going to beat the bag out of you.
They were. That's the other part.
Or put you through the boards.
Yeah.
So there was entertainment there. Like this team is, not particularly overly physical and not really entertaining at all, with the exception of maybe Pastrnak. And I'll tell you, Matt Poitras starting to get in my feels a little bit. Like I want to watch him pass the puck. Like put him out there and let me watch him pass the puck.
Yeah, I mean, yes. I mean, Adam Oates has the longest streak of assists in a game. Games with an assist with 14, 1996, 97. Now, Adam Oates, I still think is the best. I think in the short period of time they had, I mean, he might be the best center, like playmaking center they've ever had. Like he is just incredible passer, like just an incredible passer. I mean, Cam Neely on one leg was scoring goals every night because Oates just gave it to him where he needed to have it. Then he scored 39 goals when Neely was out.
Yeah, 1 year Neely was out. Oates had like 146 points or something like that.
Yeah, he just carried the team.
Yeah,
So
I mean, he dished to Brett Hull for a long time.
Yeah,
and Brett Hull has 700 goals or whatever it is. So like,
right,
that just tells you all you need to know right there. Like
special. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable. One of my very favorite players. Like he'd do that signature, come down the board, stop on a dime and leave it.
Yeah.
Just leave it softly. And then Neely would come down with a booming one-timer.
Yeah.
It's on the right wing. Just fantastic, really. Just a fantastic player. And then Jones says, don't forget the Steve Kasper coaching experiment. Kasper was the one that benched, was it Neely and Stevens? It was Neely in Toronto, right?
He benched them together, didn't he?
Yeah, Neely and Stevens. Yeah, together. I think it was Toronto. I think they were in Toronto or Buffalo, one of those.
Was it?
And
it wasn't Guerin too, was it?
No, I think Guerin was later.
It was later.
Yeah, I think this was like I think Kasper was the coach after O'Reilly, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I love Barry O'Reilly
as a player for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, Kasper and Burridge were an excellent pair. You talk about bottom six guys.
Yeah.
I mean, Kasper and Burridge in 1988 were dynamic, were fantastic, and they were a big reason why they beat the Canadians.
Yeah.
I mean, they were a huge reason in that series.
Kasper used to shadow Gretzky.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he was one of the real greats to play against Gretzky defensively.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Dan Maynard says, do you think the management can actually see that they haven't gotten someone to pair with Pasta? I think they do. And I think Sweeney said that. I think they said that they were, the roster was short. I think that's why they overspent for Lindholm, because they're afraid of the center thing. It's the wrong guy to pay. But I think Pastrnak has probably reminded them that he doesn't have a fucking center to play with. You know what I mean? If I'm Pastrnak, I go into the office and I'm like, look if you'd like me to be around a while, then put Poitras with me for a while and see if we can put something together, because Pasternak's no dummy. He knows that there's no playmaking center. He knows that they don't grow on trees. He knows they don't have draft picks to get one. He just knows that you can't, those guys sign, at their own, with their own teams. They don't get to market.
No.
So if I'm Poitra's like my only slim chance to have somebody who can feed me the puck. So that's what I would do if I was him. Beth Patemba, watching the Bruins in the 70s was hard, especially seeing the Habs win multiple cups. It was.
Yes.
I mean, the too many men on the ice in 79. And, there was some real tough ones. And also, Nordiques had the Stasnys. I mean, there was some really good teams. Of course, the Islanders won 4 in a row in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of great competition against in the mid 80s. The Flyers are excellent. So there were a lot of great competition to the Bruins through those years. Thankfully, the Hartford Whalers were around so they could win the first rounds every once in a while. Tomorrow night is a road game, says Matthew Curtis, so we'll probably get stomped again one day later. Tomorrow is a very important one, I think.
It is.
To see where they are. Like, if they go out tomorrow night and lose 4-0 or whatever on the road, then it's the same old song and dance.
Yes, sir.
And we'll be back here tomorrow night.
Yelling.
Negative as all hell.
Yep.
Yeah, yelling and screaming again. If they win, then I think we've taken some baby steps toward, gotta win the Vegas game Saturday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
If you win these 2 games here, then I think, there's at least some optimism. You've won that's your second 4-game win streak of the year. And you head right into that 2-week break with a real shot to be within distance, So, and then we'll see what they do. We'll see if they make a move after the break, toward it's only 2 weeks between the break and the deadline.
Mm-hmm.
So that 2-week period there is coming up. Hey, Wednesday night. So there'll be no Bruins post games after Saturday for 2 weeks, obviously. But that Wednesday night, the 12th, we're going to be live. We're going to do our episode live. So you can all jump on 9:30 Eastern. We'll remind you tomorrow because you're all half in the bag. But we'll remind you tomorrow. But 9:30 Eastern, Wednesday night, the 12th, we'll be on doing our episode. We'll do our chirps, and then we'll go to the fan comments, and we'll talk Bruins or whatever the hell else you want to talk. And we'll do that the next 2 Wednesday nights. There you go. Smitty's going to be in sunny Clearwater Beach, Florida, Tampa, Florida area.
Yes.
So for 9 days from the 8th to the 17th. So he won't be anywhere near us. But
no, not going to talk Bruins at all. Unless T-Boz looks me up while I'm down there. Then I'll talk some Bruins.
Yeah, T-Boz. Yeah. Draft review, Matthew Curtis. It's funny you mentioned that. I do have a list of all of Don Sweeney's trades over the years. Might take a look at that Wednesday. All the Sweeney trades, grade them all over the years. Yikes. Then maybe we'll do draft the next time. Prospect trade talk. Prospects. I don't know if they have any prospects to trade, but maybe some other teams have some prospects that we could look at. So that's a good point. Maybe Dallas, Colorado, Edmonton. Look at some of their high prospects for Marchand. Maybe we'll do that too. Yeah, it's a good idea. Dan Maynard would love to see Pasta end his career with Poitras as a dynamic pair. Wouldn't we all?
Yes, we would.
We all love to see that. I mean, if Poitras can be as good, solid playmaking second line center, then I think you have a fighting chance to at least be decent, pretty good for the next few years. You need him though. If he doesn't pan out, then man, you're even more screwed. I don't know how you can recover quickly. I really don't. Dan Maynard says, I think Pastrnak streak has given the team a bounce. The energy in the back room after the last game was crazy big. It's 24 points in his last 10 games. Assists in 11 straight games. And he's an underrated passer. Let me just say that again.
Yeah.
Like Pastrnak doesn't get enough credit he doesn't pass a ton. But when he does, he's one of the better passers on the team.
Oh, sure he is.
100% he is. He's a really good passer. He really is. Puts it on the tape, puts it in the right space. He's a dynamic offensive player for sure. All right, Bruins win tonight, 3-0. 60 points on the year. They reached the 60-point mark. They play tomorrow night. We're going to do it again tomorrow night after the New York Rangers in New York, Madison Square Garden. Second night of a back-to-back. Let's see if they get the dub again. And then on Saturday against Vegas. And then 2 weeks off. Hey, thanks everybody for chiming in again. Let's do it again tomorrow night. Until then, as always, go Bruins.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.